Feldmar Watch Company, Los Angeles. Let us get up in your business. All right, so what are we doing here today? We are checking out a bunch of independent watchmakers at Feldmar Watch Company in Los Angeles on Pico, just a bit west of Robertson. Scott and Jimmy have very graciously let me have my run of the place, trying on a bunch of different watches. Very happy to share that with you today, and let's check it out. Arnold and Son. Gosh, the Luna Magna Red Gold Meteorite, probably the most epic moon phase watch I've ever seen. That is indeed a marble. Let's put some numbers up on the board. She's a biggin', bit of a big Bertha, but you need to be when you've got a marble. Thankfully, not that tall, only about 15.9, but 44 millimeters. Let's check out that case back. Dang, worth every penny of the 60K, a little bit north of 60K. Absolutely beautiful. I really love this brand, Arnold and Son, and one of the reasons why I wanted to feature them is because you can get your hands on with these epic watches if you come into the store. Feldmar, wow, I love it. Gorgeous leather strap as well. 22 millimeters there. Very light on the water resistance, no surprise there. It is a dress watch, and even though she is 15.9 tall, you'll see in a minute, wears rather lovely on my wrist. Of course, we've got sapphire. Somewhat uniquely, we've got a power reserve of 90 hours on her, and it's from their movement A&S 1021. I don't know what the base is, but gosh, let's just appreciate that wrist candy for a second, shall we? I don't know, you think I can pull it off? I think I can pull it off. I mean, 44 millimeters, but that lug to lug, it is an estimate. I wasn't about to take calipers to this beauty, but that 48.8 millimeters lug to lug is very polite, so that helps it wear a little bit better. And the lug to lug often determines wrist presence far better than sheer diameter, and this is a perfect example of it. Gorgeous in red gold and that meteorite dial. They make a couple versions of this beauty, but for me, that blue, all right, if they made it in green, yes, I would like the green better, but in blue, can't get over the detail of that movement. Oh yes, Arnold and Son. Arnold and Son is fabulous. Do yourself a favor, head over to Feldmar Watch Company if you are in the neighborhood and check these out. These are special watches. They've got a handful of other moon phases as well that are a little more approachable, that aren't marble based but have a disc, and I've always loved them. Angelus. The temptation to put in some Buffy the Vampire Slayer footage here is amazing. Let's put some numbers up on the board instead. The Chronodate green titanium. Yes, super light titanium. This one's rocking you 25 G's, a little better. But isn't she gorgeous? Not that tall, 14.25. And you're going to see when it's on wrist where it's really rather nice, even though it is 42.5 in diameter. Double butterfly clasp, epically gorgeous movement. Gosh, if you're an Angels fan, you would love that. Something of an UGG width. Everything points to this being a 21 millimeter strap. I actually reached out to them to find out if it was 22. It's probably 22, but FYI, it could be 21. And 30 meters water resistance. No surprise here. This is more or less a dress chronograph, even though it's harkening back to some of their legacy design language models. I myself am trying to find a vintage piece, but I gotta say, this green, you know me, I love a good green watch. Of course, we've got sapphire crystal. We got 60 hours of power reserve here on this chrono, and that's due to their movement, the A-500, which I believe is Valjoux 7750 based, and pretty epic watch. If you're looking for a rare bird, and maybe you've got 25 G's and you don't want to go down the Rolex route, and you do want something in titanium that's a special piece, I'll tell you what, if you walk into a watch meetup, you are not going to see another one of these on deck, I can promise you that. Angelus. I do love this brand. I'm going to have to do a deep dive on how they came back to life, because I think they took a snooze during the quartz crisis and then bumped back. But epically gorgeous and worth trying on if you are in the neighborhood of Feldmar Watch Company. Ressence or Renaissance. I wonder if Ressence is short for Renaissance, because they certainly are bringing a renaissance to watchmaking with this beauty. This is the Type 3 Black Titanium, rocking 44 Gs, a little better. Look at that thing. I have admired these watches for many years. There's a little hand logo. And this has the ROC 3.5 ETA base movement. ROC standing for Resonance Orbital Convex System. It's got a series of discs in there. You really have to check out their website to see how this thing is made. Looking at 44 millimeters, the lug to lug at 53. But this thing is visible from nearly all angles because that oil-filled watch doesn't allow light to cause any disturbances, refractions, or anything. It's perfectly clear. 22 millimeter strap, 100 meters water resistance on this one. Not that I would go diving with it. You do have sapphire. A somewhat meager 36 hours of power. All three of those discs are running around. You've got seconds, you've got hours and minutes. A runner seconds, come back to that. Day, date, and then oil temperature, because yes, this is running on oil. More or less, it's in the case. But you don't have true seconds that you can tell the tick-tock of the seconds. It's a runner, which is also meant to be an indicator of shock, an indicator whether or not it is working. I'm not doing it justice, but it's that very, very small dial. And, magnets are involved in this as well. She is absolutely gorgeous and a true renaissance in watchmaking, if you ask your boy D. Fourth and final trilobe or trilobe. The most affordable of the pieces we're seeing today, rocking a little bit over 10 Gs. They do make two versions of this. This is the Nuit Fantastique Grain Silver Titanium, another titanium piece. 3 of 4 today. So this is in the 38.5 millimeters, and look at that beautiful micro rotor movement. That is their eccentric movement, and it does give us 48 hours of power reserve. Obviously, we've got sapphire, only 50 meters of water resistance, but thankfully a 20 millimeter strap. And perhaps, let's put those dimensions up on the board. Perhaps the most interesting thing here, only 10.5 millimeters thick, or I should say thin. She wears absolutely beautifully on my wrist, and I have to say, this is a very beautiful watch. They make several versions of it. They made, Hodinkee made a version that was black, but for me, I love this silver grain dial. And I have to say, this is a very unique watch. It does take some getting used to. Now, you'll notice these are some high-end pieces, but check it out on my wrist. 10.5 millis, wearing like a dream. gorgeous. And if you want something that's a little bit different, maybe you, I don't know, maybe you don't want to go for Glass Chute Original. Glass Chute Original is the watch that comes closest to this in terms of price point and unique sort of layout, even though they're a bit different. For me, that would be the main competitor for this piece, but if you want something unusual, unique, different, you're going to get it from here. And more importantly, you can try before you buy. If you head over to Feldmar Watch Company, just tell them your boy D sent you. And you're interested in checking out some of their amazing independent pieces like this one. You'll find it in the same case as the Ressence pieces. They are distributed by the same distributor. And fairly unique. I love it. I absolutely love it. And you might too. So, go check it out. In addition to over 60 brands, we also have an amazing selection of pre-owned up in the place. An amazing selection. We even have a Submariner in here that just might have to come home with yours truly. So hit them up on their website, give them a jingle. By all means, if you are in Los Angeles, stop by for yourself and see in person. But also, free shipping. Free 2-day shipping on any watch that is over $1,000. You cannot beat that. You could not beat that with a stick. All right, there you have it. Feldmar Watch Company. Over 60 brands in the joint. Over 110 years on the block. Just an amazing AD and probably one of my favorite locales to visit when I am in Los Angeles. And I couldn't be more grateful to them for letting me have my run of the place and trying on a bunch of different watches and just sharing in the hobby, this wonderful, beautiful hobby of ours. Hope you enjoyed this episode and that wherever you are in this wonderful hobby of ours, you are doing well and that you are blessed. We will catch you in the next one. Peace. If you'd like to support the channel, head over to hobbyofhours.com. We've got artwork, coffee mugs, hats, t-shirts, and even a watch book. 1001 Watch Designs, Volume 1. Over 1,000 designs in here. Steampunk, super futuristic, kaleidoscope, even super real ones. Watches that you could probably put on your wrist today. It's a great way to support the channel. Thanks for coming along on the ride.